Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Please do me a favor, hit the like button and subscribe. So we have a new article out by Rolling Stone. Ruby Franke's neighbor called the cops several times out of concern for the children, source says. As well as her sister also posted a video on YouTube, which is now private, but I do have that as well, so we're going to go over both. Following the arrest of mommy vlogger Ruby Franke, those close to the YouTuber are speaking out about her alleged abusive behavior. An Ivins, Utah resident who lives nearby the family and asked not to be named for privacy tells Rolling Stone that he and other neighbors have called the police on Franke multiple times out of concern for the children, and notes there were weeks at a time where the children appeared to be left without adult supervision. The Santa Clarence Ivins Police Department did not respond to a request for comment. Early 2022, it started getting weird, the neighbor tells Rolling Stone. People were concerned because Ruby completely stopped her YouTube stuff. And then it just kind of turned dark. She taped up paper over all of her windows. She would disappear for weeks at a time, and there's all these little kids just left alone in this house. Franke and her husband Kevin Franke did not respond to Rolling Stone's request for comment. The cops were called, several times. They would come and they'd knock on the door and nobody would open up, the neighbor adds. Franke's sister Ellie, Julie, and Bonnie, who are also family content creators, called the YouTuber's arrest something that needed to happen and said keeping Franke's children safe is their only priority. And then this is their joint statement that they put out on Instagram. For the last 3 years, we've kept quiet on the subject of our sister, Ruby Franke, for the sake of her children. Behind the public scene, we have done everything we could to try and make sure the kids were safe. We wouldn't feel right about moving forward with regular content without addressing the most recent events. Once we do, we will not be commenting on it further. Ruby was arrested, which needed to happen. Jodi was arrested, which needed to happen. The kids are now safe, which is the #1 priority. Franke's eldest daughter, Sherry, who is estranged from her parents, also spoke out about the arrest on her Instagram story on Thursday. Me and my family are so glad justice is being served, Sherry said. We've been trying to tell the police and CPS for years about this, and so glad they finally decided to step up. Kids are safe, but there's a long road ahead. Please keep them in your prayers and also respect their privacy. Franke is best known for her YouTube channel, 8 Passengers, where she documented her unique and strict parenting style as she raised her 6 children. Many of her videos focused on discipline and often received pushback from her audience for being overly harsh, like withholding lunch, removing bedroom doors, and threatening to throw away toys and clothes with sentimental value as punishments for minor infractions. I remember seeing a video where one of her youngest children, I guess, must have been cutting things with scissors, and she held up one of her little stuffed animals and told her that if she cut anything else around the house, that she was going to cut her stuffed animal's head off. And then, of course, this upset her child. The channel was removed from YouTube earlier this year under unknown circumstances and had over 2.3 million followers. And in a previous video that I posted, Ruby tries to tell all of us that she left to keep her children safe. The channel was regularly plagued by accusations of abuse, all of which Franke denied. On Thursday, Franke and her business partner Jodi were taken into police custody after a child escaped through Hildebrandt's window and asked neighbors for food and water. According to a police report obtained by Page 6, neighbors called the police after they noticed that the child had remnants of duct tape wrapped around their arms and legs and looked emaciated, malnourished, and had open wounds. It is unclear whether the child was one of Franke's 6 children, which we know now that it was. While police were examining Hildebrandt's home, authorities reportedly found another emaciated child who was also taken to the hospital, Page 6 reports. According to Page 6, Franke and Hildebrandt are being held under suspicion of 2 counts of aggravated child abuse. I saw in this article from ABC that according to the court documents from law enforcement reports that the 12-year-old was taken to the hospital and placed on a medical hold due to deep lacerations from being tied up with rope and malnourishment. Reports also state that Hildebrandt was in the direct care of the children and had direct knowledge of the abuse. Hildebrandt reportedly made statements to the police that the children should, quote, never be allowed around any other kids, end quote, adding to law enforcement's opinion that she was aware of the abuse. Franke's oldest daughter has been featured on other YouTube shows, admitting she was estranged from her family and giving reasons as to why she was no longer speaking to her parents. She said that once she moved out of her home to attend college, she began realizing her parents' methods were too extreme. If you've seen this screenshot floating around, this is one of her daughter's older Instagram posts that she made. If you would like to, go ahead and pause to read. Page 6 reported on the YouTube video that one of Ruby's sisters made, so here's that video for you now. And I do have to edit this video just to be on the safe side, so that's why there's editing. However, nothing being said was edited, just what the video looks like.
It is Thursday evening, and this week has been nothing that I could have anticipated. I don't think any of us could have really anticipated. If you have the internet, you have seen news articles on my sister, Ruby, from the 8 passengers, and my sisters and I, we are on the very same page. We put out a message, you can read that on Instagram, and for the last 3 years we have truly clung on to each other and offering support to one another, and I don't think any of us could have ever seen this coming. We all did as much as we could legally, and you don't know what you don't know. I do feel a little bit numb at this point. The only thing that we ultimately care about is that our nieces and nephews are safe, and they are. And that is the only thing that matters to any of us. It is going to feel weird for me to move forward. And I think, do I just move forward?
Just take it a day at a time. Who knows what anything has in store, but we just know right now that those kids are safe.
I don't have any thoughts even for myself. I don't know what I would even tell myself, let alone tell all of you. I think times like these is where it really tests your belief in God. And I know that timing is everything, and I know that they will be taken care of. I know the kids will be okay. And I know our family will be okay. And things like this happen, and somehow we each find a way to move forward. No matter what situation you're finding yourself in, the sun rises every day, the sun sets every day, and each day you move forward. That's all you can do.
And in the end, each of us will account to God for how we protected kids.
Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Like, subscribe, and share.